Bom dia. Estou realmente satisfeito por estar convosco hoje. Now you understand why I have to switch to English. I'm really sorry for my Portuguese, and I'm really proud and pleased to be with you today. I'm going to try to explain you as well what is managed services. And day after day, I try to explain it to my son. He's 8 years old, and each time he says, okay, it's too complicated for me. So I will try to explain it through 3 points. The first one is short introduction and our managed services understanding. Then we will go through the organizations that we have in order to deliver these services to our customer, and finally our experience with our customers. Let's start with our 5 strategic pillars around unified communication, including voice and video, contact center, data center, international service organization, I'm going to talk about this, and of course managed services. First, we have an international service factory based on a central seamless organization in order to deliver service around all these branches, all our NextiraOne branches, and since the beginning of this year we have a branch in America. We have also for the rest of the world a global alliance partner. Then for the services we have a classical life cycle with design, build, deploy, and manage your overall services. Let's start with the challenge. This means that we understand that you, customer, have to face these 4 challenges. The first one is most easy to understand, is that you are looking for reliable and available cost-efficient infrastructure. That's the first step. Then you are looking for the targeted architecture. This means that you need to have a password. You need to be able to plan the future. You need an alignment between the IT strategy and the strategy of your company. But, by the way, we go through the speed of change. Everything is going faster and faster. And you want to be able to take benefit from your infrastructure at each time. When your boss changes the strategy, when they are merging a company with another one, when they are opening a new branches, you want to be able to take benefit from your overall infrastructure. So you have to be ready at each moment, at each time. And for this, you need flexible competencies, internally, externally, combining all this. The aim of this is to be able to provide you the right advice in order to help you to drive properly your IT governance. Let's see the incident root cause analysis. The source is a Gartner group. The first cause comes from the application. 40% of the incident comes from application. Honestly, we cannot do anything about this because we are not editor, as you know, and we are not a vendor. We can advise you to choose the right vendor, that's the point. And we can move to the second part, which is the infrastructure. 20% comes from the infrastructure. And this is our role, this is our job, to design the right architecture. And there we can help us to have a really redundant architecture with the right backup. And then the last one concerns 40%, and it's the system management. And this is the heart of the managed services. This is the administration, the overall management of your infrastructure, your day-to-day business. And we know that this one can be tricky. I have an example of a very huge customer that has branches all over Europe. We were responsible for break and fix incident management, and not for the overall network. And this summer, all the network was down for multiple hours. And after the investigation, we find out that one engineer, a customer engineer, has tried to do an action on this network, but he was not aware about the technical impact. It was not in Portugal, even if this customer is in Portugal. And the point for the customer is not the technical impact, it's the downtime. The point for the customer is the impact on the business, because it costs a lot and a lot of money for the customer. So the concern here is to know that we can act on these two points, and this is what we mean when we talk about managed services. A few keywords on ETIL understanding. The first one is downtime. Nobody wants to hear about this, but our job is to fight and to avoid downtime for our customers. And of course, you are looking for availability, and all our services are around availability. And because it's services and it's intangible, we have to measure it, and we have to give you consolidated report about availability. But availability without continuity means that if there is a crash, you need a disaster recovery plan. We have to care also about this keyword. And finally, capacity. Capacity is the right behavior. You care about capacity for today, in 30 days, in a few months, in a few years. This is a track for you in order to make sure that you care about the future of your infrastructure. This is a targeted architecture. This is the overall infrastructure and the overall behavior when you are thinking about managed services. Now, we have a tool that helps us to explain what managed services is and to understand where our customers stand. We have 4 states, I would say. This is also a tool developed by Gartner. I'm not keen of Gartner, but it's a good tool, so we are using it. You probably know it. It goes from running the business on a day-to-day concern to changing the business, doing something more strategic on my infrastructure. So the first stage is reactive. The second one is going to more proactive action. Then we move to something that we can call optimization. And here, creating business value. And at this stage, my son said, okay, and so what? Yeah, and so what? So I try to explain that here, you have a car, you drive your car, and your engine is broken. Okay, break and fix, you go to the garage, etc. You know the story. It's not very important, but if you are in a plane, an aircraft, it's not the same story. So this means that after a certain number of hours with your airplane, you have to open the engine, open everything, see everything, etc. You have to monitor. So the behavior is quite different. And your network is critical. And your network is more an aircraft than a car. And then he said, okay, now I understand more. If we want to give other names, let's say ETIL names, okay? We dive directly into our offering. So same boxes, in order to say here, it's more or less support, reactive, break and fix. Then monitoring services. I care about my infrastructure. Then I want to optimize it and I want to customize it for my customer, and then I launch a transformation program. In order to make it really, really simple, we have 5 categories of services. Incident management, change management. Change management, change request looks very, very simple, but in fact, it has an impact on your infrastructure. And when you have a lot of Mac, move, add, and change, it can have a real, real importance and impact. That's why on an ETIL way, you have change manager, etc. Then For monitoring, we have the service account management, who deals around service level management, and also the network operating center services with centralized services we are going to present this later on. And the last one is the optimization architect team. We have a team able to manage the infrastructure of our customer on this way, which is a way of optimization the overall. And as you can see, these services are across optimization and transformation, because when we are launching a project for a customer, of course we need professional services because they are going to design, they are going to work on the project, but they need the information that the optimization architect has, because they have all the behavior of the customer. They know well the needs of the customer and how the overall infrastructure is working. So we take advantage from these two teams working closely.